Hey everyone, Eric here with Barrel and Hatchet and another episode of Hatchet Cast. Roy and myself are actually going to be bringing out a new series called the Echo Files, which is done by me, and the Romeo Files, which are done by Roy. These will be individual video product reviews on different things that we're running. Roy is running stuff specifically on his platform sometimes. I'm running stuff on my own. And this is another way for us to get more content out to you, the viewer, the subscriber, a lot more consistently. Now today we're going to be talking about the 2.5 to 10 by 44 GLX scope from Primary Arms. The one that we currently were running, there's two different models, is the ACSS Raptor M2. I am running the one that was the ACSS Griffin Mill Reticle. Now, before we get started, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, also hit the notification bell. It's going to let you know about any new episodes that drop. It is the freest way to help support us. It really helps us out a lot. If you want to see any behind the scenes stuff, go to our Instagram and you can check out any new episodes that are coming in. Also, we do have Spotify and all of our special guest episodes. We've already got a couple down in there, as well as the recordings from these Hatchet Casts on YouTube go onto our Spotify. But our guest episodes specifically and exclusively go to Spotify. So go support us there. And I'll go ahead and talk about some other disclaimers later, but let's jump right into it. So this optic, it was not given to us by Primary Arms. We actually did get this on our own through AAA Gun and Ammo, which is Roy's shop. And we actually, I've been running it solely. So I've been running this for about 2.5, almost 3 months. But we're gonna go ahead and jump right into some specs. So first off, it's a mill reticle, mill turrets. The click value is 0.1 mil or 1/10 of a mil. It does have it is a first focal plane and does have some partial illumination. The illumination's okay, not daylight bright, but if you also talk to Dimitri and those guys at Primary Arms, their biggest reason for having the illumination is for that lower light setting. Now, this is a 2.5 to 10 power, which, as you know, Roy and I are very particular and we love the 2 to 10 range for a scoped carbine or a AR-15 type platform or battle rifle platform. It's just enough to really kind of give you a little bit more essay in your area just by giving you that 10x power. And we're actually seeing a lot of LPVOs go to a 1 to 10, some even maybe a 1 to 12 we've been seeing. So it is becoming a more popular magnification range. As you know, Roy and I, we are under night vision a lot. I am definitely a night vision connoisseur, running a lot. We also have training on night vision, but this is a night vision capable optic, so you can actually passively aim with this optic. It is an objective diameter of 44 millimeters, and the GLX is the optic series that we're running. This specifically, I was running the ACSS Griffin Mill, and I'll talk about that reticle in a second and why I like it so much. The color that you're going to get when you do illuminate this is red. And as far as the turrets go, for elevation and windage, you get a total of 37 mils of adjustment. This is a 30 millimeter tube, and I do have it sitting on American Defense Delta mount. You can actually buy the American Defense manufacturing mounts from Primary Arms, or you can get it from ADM directly. Those mounts are rock solid, super easy to adjust, and of course, as you know, we love the American Defense products. So overall weight for the optic itself without the mount and the red dot that I have on there is 22.5 ounces. So it's a little beefy, not too bad though. And as far as this optic goes, it is a tank. Roy and I, we run our equipment very, very hard. It gets a lot of use. We shoot almost every day. And so to have this optic, you know, we've probably got 4,000 rounds through it. The time that we've been running it has been super, super rugged. Now it will come with a little throw nub. I wouldn't even call it a knob. It is a throw nub, a small one that you can put wherever you want. And as far as the turret goes for the zoom magnification, adjusting that, it is a little bit stiff. So you're really gonna have to put a little bit of power into it. It does have that objective adjustment in the back of the scope. And it's very kind of more of a stiffer adjustment. Now moving over to the turrets, what I do like about these turrets is they are a little bit flatter than their other turrets, I believe, on their LPVO, the Griffin series. But it is a lower mounted turret, a little bit wider, but what I love is they have a locking on it, locking turrets, and also it goes to has a zero stop in there. The zero stop is very easy to adjust. There's tons of videos out there on how to adjust the zero stop, but I highly recommend it. It's very nice. In fact, if you're running a scope nowadays, it pretty much should be comes standard now. You know, it's 2022, running a zero stop is pretty much a standard. Now, as far as the left side of the optic, you do have your reticle brightness and adjustment, and it does have where it turns off in between numbers. So if you want to have it set on 9 and you want to turn it off, you just got to do one click and it goes off, and then you can go back to 9. So you don't have to turn it all the way down and all the way back up to turn it on and off. Now, as far as now next to the adjustment, brightness adjustment, you do have a parallax, and it goes from 50 all the way to 1,000 yards. And I actually thought, because we were running the Credo for so long, which doesn't have, or the Trijicon Credo 2-10 does not have a parallax adjustment for yardage. And I was kind of like, man, I wish I kind of had that. Well, now, after running it on the Primary Arms optic, this 2.5-10, for the scoped carbine that we run it on, doing fast target engagements and doing holds, it's actually been kind of annoying, to be honest with you. To go from a 200-yard target to a 400-yard target and having to adjust that parallax. So that has been kind of annoying. It would be kind of nice to have it already built in like the Trijicon Credo. We kind of took that for granted. And so running back into this, now you get pretty good at adjusting it. Like I got pretty good adjusting on the fly as I'm running from position to position or you know, from target to target, but it still does take up time. Eventually I got used to where I could put my hand on the adjustment knob and rotate it to about where I thought the yardage was, but I still had to break my eye off the glass and off the target to be able to change, make sure it's set at the right setting, and then go back on the glass. Really kind of a pet peeve thing, but just something to note. Now, it did come with a lens cap. I actually cut out an odd shape on there to kind of cut the shine. And then for the scope mount, I'm using the American Defense Manufacturing Delta mount, and it does have the Picatinny top rail ring. This is a 30mm tube, and on the top of this optic, I do like to run my dots on top. It's good for passive aiming with gas mask, night vision, kind of faster shooting. I am running a Vortex Spark, which is also night vision capable. Now, as far as me running a bigger dot, something to make note of, with this locking button nub, you do have a problem of it running for specifically my setup. Now, you may not have this problem with a different scope mount or different setup or different top mounting solution for your dot. But for me, for my setup, I was only able to get 4.2 mils of adjustment because the nub would hit the red dot. So I couldn't get past that. And honestly, it's not that big of a deal. I do most of my stuff as holds anyways, unless there's a lot of winds and I'm working distance, then I will dial if I've got the time. But something to make note of, if you are going to copy this exact setup, that is something that you will have to be wary of. Now, let's talk about the reticle real quick. The reticle is a Christmas tree style reticle. It does have the classic moving target indicator dots on either side of the chevron. I do love the chevron because I can see the entire target. It's not being covered up by a crosshair, so that's the good benefit of a chevron type optic. So when you do zero this, make sure that you put the very tippy tip of that chevron on your point of aim on the target, and make sure your point of impact correlates with the very tip of that arrow. That way you can see your entire target and you just put the tip of that arrow on where you want to hit. Now, it does have that classic circular ring, as well as on the left and right side of the Griffin Mill reticle, it does have a rangefinder, which Primary Arms is known for, having those rangefinder built in to the actual reticle itself, which does make it very nice to be able to figure out how far your target away, how far it is away from you, and that will in turn determine what type of holds you need to have for your dope. I do like the fact it does have 14. It does do even numbers for what the numbers show for a mil hold, and I really do enjoy that. It goes all the way to 15 mils of hold inside the reticle, plus your 37 mils of adjustment inside the turret. So there's a lot of adjustment in there, and you can really get really far. It does have the Christmas tree style dots for windage, which I have used so much, and it has been really, really nice. Now, understand there's a lot going on in that reticle, so it will take some training for you to kind of get used to figuring out where your dot holds are, and kind of making sure you have the right dot for the right elevation hold with your windage when you're making those shots. As far as this optic goes, let's talk about price. Price is actually really, really nice. 749 bucks, kind of almost in that Vortex Viper price range. Treasure Concreto I think is a couple $100 more. So it's really in a nice spot, and also it's super rugged. So you do get a lot of bang for your buck. You can run this on a scope carbine, so we run it on AR-15s. I've seen guys run it on a Mark 12 type series. We loved it on the Mark 12. And also a different type, you can run on a bolt gun. So there's so many different ranges of where you can have this, this optic go. And the great thing about MIL is you can run it on anything. So it's not going to be a BDC and really does give you a lot of benefit. Overall, I love this optic. We're probably going to keep it on the gun or put it onto a different gun that we run a lot. It is super rugged, so we're going to keep this optic around, and it does fit nicely in our scoped carbine series. As far as scope carbine, we do offer training on scope carbine, so if you're wanting to train with us, come train with us. We would love to see you come out, hang out with me and Roy. We do have other classes that are on the website, so go ahead and check that schedule. As far as people that support us and great companies to go support, check out Lunar Concepts and Wiseman Company. They do make all of your nylon needs and stuff for firearm accessories as well as gear. Really good company. And also go check out JTAC Ranch. It is our home range and is usually where we host most of our classes. So go check them out. Also, go check out Primary Arms. We will have the optic link below in the description. And remember, you can buy this amazing optic, but if you're not training, then you're not going to get any better. You cannot buy capability. You need to go out and train. So make sure you guys go invest in yourself. That is the best money that you'll spend, is investing in yourself. And then you become the asset and not the liability. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for joining me on this review of the first episode of the Echo Files for the Primary Arms GLX 2.5-10. We hope to see you. And also, when Roy puts out his Romeo files, make sure you go check that out as well, and check out some of our other videos that we have on our channel. As always, please hit that like button, subscribe, and also comment. It really does help us out, and also it's so awesome to see you guys helping each other out in our community in that comment section. So much positivity going on down there, so it's awesome to see. Anyways, go out there and train, invest in yourself, and we'll see you on the next one.